following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
The Nostalgia Funhouse proudly dedicates all episodes in the loving memory of Connie Chirac. Johnny, I thought Brian was supposed to be doing this with us today.
Look, I've been telling you, I don't think we need guests because of this very reason. We've been waiting for hours, it feels like.
Yeah, it's already like October, almost Halloween going on now here. Where is this guy?
I could get into a game of Overwatch 2 quicker than this.
I could learn how to spell Scooby-Doo quicker than this.
Scooby-Doo. Where's Brian? Oh, hey. Brian!
Hey, where were you?
Well, I was sitting in the theater, I was all ready to watch Let's Talk, but no politics, okay? And I was looking around and look at all these empty seats, like, am I early? Am I late? And then it dawned on me, I was at the wrong show.
You were. It's going to be a mistake there for a while. I know Apple Podcast has not put up our new logo yet, so.
Well, even though I was in the wrong theater, it still felt.
Did it?
Still felt like a nice, warm Halloween sweater.
Everybody wears Halloween sweaters. That's a thing that the whole world knows about.
Johnny does that every year. He goes around wearing a Halloween sweater, yelling "Shell yeah" to everybody.
Shell yeah, I do.
But come on, let's get in here. Let's get this done, and let's check out this great spot.
Pooh, where are the Butterfingers?
Sold out, but try my other 350 candy varieties.
I need a crispy, crunchy, peanut buttery Butterfinger.
I'll give you 4 fingers.
Nothing like a Butterfinger.
From Nestle.
Betterfinger.
Hello, Johnny. I guess you could say long time no talk to. I don't know, even though it just feels like I just recorded with you yesterday.
It does feel like that. It really, truly does. But it's been 1 week since. How did that song go? It's been 1 week since you talked to me.
Should know. They're Canadian. They used to live right by the border.
Oh, the Bare Naked Ladies. Is that who that was? Oh,
yep.
Man. I remember when I first heard the name of the band, and then I found out that they were a band that was, felt lied to by the name.
Filing a lawsuit.
That's what they were.
What were they?
Fully clothed men.
Yeah, fully clothed men. They weren't even ladies. They weren't even barely naked. Every time I saw them, they were wearing their Halloween sweaters.
Encouraging people to throw macaroni and cheese on stage.
Yeah. Andrew, who's that talking to us?
Oh, that is Brian Finch of Airing Your Grievances. And what's your music one?
The Out of Tune podcast.
Out of Tune podcast.
And he also crafts and drafts.
Yes, yeah. You do. You do craft and draft. But it's not like him crafting, like knitting a Halloween sweater type crafting. It's
no, that's the show I want, Brian.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was going to ask Johnny if he would narrate while I knit a Halloween sweater. So,
have you been in my brain?
I don't know how else you turn a knitting, show into a podcast. Having Johnny just narrate. All right, and
I would be honored.
It's got to be real.
If you look really closely here, there's that's a cross stitch. That's one heck of a cross stitch. Shell yeah.
See, I would do it like a golf, like.
Oh, you gotta be quiet. No, if you look right here, I just look really close. Oh, that needle's going right through. Oh, the crowd is just in awe. I am crying literally as I'm watching this.
We're here with Emma Thompson.
That's a pumpkin. He just did a pumpkin on a sweater.
She is the 1983 crochet champion of the year, also 1986 knitting runner-up, and she will be telling us how Brian is doing while knitting his sweater.
He's doing really well. I really, really enjoy watching. Oh, that's just a great style he has there.
Thank you. Here, this is the other thing I got to run by Brian. Okay, I know you're a Star Wars fan.
No, he hates
it. Office, are you a fan of The Office? I know it's kind of a give and take thing now that it's become popular.
Watched it all the way through twice.
Okay. So there's a new show with Steve Carell, and he plays a therapist. It's called The Patient. And his patient is the guy that played General Hux.
Oh,
And I started watching this with my wife, and I talked about this last episode with Johnny, and I can't watch it because all I can picture is Michael Scott giving therapy to General Hux. And Johnny says he wants that episode.
That's the show I want.
That's the show that he wants to watch.
That would be the greatest creation of all time. Also won't like Han Solo like just get into an argument with Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Or a multiverse one where it's Kurt Russell Han Solo and Tom Selleck Indiana Jones.
Oh, then we get Nicolas Cage Superman.
Oh geez, please don't give me that.
I recently found out that Bette Midler turned down the lead role in Sister Act.
Oh wow, that's a totally different movie.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. And someone else was in line for I can never say her name, but she's the girl that's also in Hocus Pocus, the bigger gal.
Kathy.
Kathy.
Yeah.
Nahimi or whatever.
Najimi.
Yeah, she was not originally gonna have that role. Instead, they were gonna give it to the girl from Hairspray, who had her own.
Ricky Lake.
Ricky Lake.
We're actually on Retropop coming soon. We're covering Hocus Pocus, so I've actually been researching it. There's a lot of really fun what ifs there. Like the original main kid was going to be Leonardo DiCaprio, and he turned it down. They were going to give him a lot of money too, and he turned it down to do What's Eating Gilbert Grape when he didn't even actually officially have it yet. He was just really wanting that role. Bette Midler was originally written. That role was originally written for Cloris Leachman. And the reason that the movie got actually, did you guys know that movie, the script for that movie had been around for like 10 years before they even actually made it?
I could see that.
Yeah.
And
the guy that directed it was, man, I just listened to a podcast on this. So the guy that directed it was a part-time hairstylist and also a choreographer, and that was his first time ever directing.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But
that's why the hair looks so great on that movie, though.
But speaking of Hocus Pocus, since we talked about Hocus Pocus 2 last episode, for our segment, I'm springing this right on Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Our opening segment, Brian, today for Nostalgia Fix or Cash Grab Dis is we're going to be discussing, before we get into the main topic, adult Happy Meals. You're the guest. You go first. Do you feel that is a nostalgia fix or a cash grab dis?
These are real things. This exists
now. So to give you a little background, McDonald's has come out with an adult Happy Meal. They teamed up with some apparel company that I'd never heard of because I'm in my late 30s, and this company has a design thing where like all the characters on their shirts have 4 eyeballs. So they're putting out these iconic McDonald's toys that can get in these adult Happy Meals. Like Grimace is one of them, for example. And it's Grimace, but he has 4 eyes, and they look scary. Side note: Trevor, Retro Bliss fame, got one, and that's the character he got. And he sent me a picture, and I was petrified.
I am looking this up right now.
Yeah,
I need to have visual.
You get a Big Mac or chicken nuggets, and then it's pretty much just a regular meal, but it's called the adult Happy Meal.
Yeah, it's basically taking a regular adult combo you would get and giving you a toy with it.
Do you get beer with it?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think that is a Happy Meal sometimes.
Yeah, see?
That's a drink your dinner night.
Because I saw somebody tweet out a picture of an adult Happy Meal, and it had...
No, I know what you're talking. The Ronald McDonald.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Instead of like not a high C, a Capri Sun pouch filled with fruit punch. It said Modelo on it.
Yeah. It was like
I would buy that. Way too often.
I did see that, yeah. But yeah, basically it's You're taking an adult combo that you would normally get and throwing in a toy and charging like a couple extra bucks because of it.
Well, there's nothing in my being, my essence, that ever needed this. So I'm gonna just say this is a cash grab.
Andrew, what do you think?
Considering what the toy is, yes, because I agree with Brian. This is a cash grab disc. Because also, I don't have a problem ordering a regular Happy Meal. Not gonna lie, I ordered.
If they have a cool toy that I want to collect, if like they do Mario Brothers every once in a while, your boy gets some Mario Brothers.
I
Happy
got
Meals.
Sonic, and then my kids,
I did too.
My kids are getting to the age where they don't get Happy Meals, and then they were like, "Oh, look at that toy," and I said, "This is mine. You should have got a Happy Meal.
Yeah,
Life sucks for you."
See, Brian's got something too.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I bought these for my daughters. They don't care about the toys, but look at how epic this Bowser Mario Kart toy is. For
It's
a Happy
freaking cool. Yeah,
It's dope. Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. I'm with you both. If they had said, "Hey, we're going to bring out these," and the first figures were like just normal, like if they just had two eyes or whatever, honestly, I would probably be like, "I'll try one of those. I'll get one of those," because those are characters from my childhood. I would be all over that. That is that would be a nostalgia fix. But the fact that they're teaming up with this company that I'm pretty sure you have to be in your mid to lower 20s to even know of, I'm just assuming I'm throwing a lot of shade at a company I've never heard of.
Johnny,
they may be doing great for all I know, but I just have never heard of them. It's just so weird to me that McDonald's would team up with some. So I'm assuming they're huge, right? Are they like the Harry Styles? This thing that I don't know, but I know it's big.
Called collaboration with the Cactus Plant Flea Market.
Yes.
And it's a fashion label.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I only know this because I looked it up after I found out about these Happy Meals.
So I don't know who these people are, and Johnny and I are still trying to figure out who Andrew Tate is as well.
Oh, I know who he is because I've seen the YouTube videos. He just hates women for the most part.
Oh, okay.
I told you who he was.
Pretty much a guy that's just on YouTube, just trying to get money by saying
stupid
stuff.
I love this headline. It says McDonald's staff begs people to stop ordering or to not to order adult Happy Meals. Nothing like having publicity already that's going the opposite direction of what you're trying to create. You're trying to create buzz, which did not work because I didn't know about it until you guys brought it up. I thought it was totally fake.
No, it's real.
It's
already it's kind of not working or kind of is working. I don't know.
The last I looked, you can actually get the toys on. This is kind of tells you how it's doing on eBay, but they're going for like way more than what they cost. Yeah. So I guess some people are wanting these. I just can't take that 4-eye thing. It really throws it off for me. Just not for me. And there's no Ronald, I don't think, right? There's no Ronald in these original 4.
They do have a Hamburglar costume. I was looking at this.
Yeah, but there's like
Funko Pop. No, like this. The website, they have McDonald's clothing to go along with this.
Oh yeah.
And there is a little like hamburger.
Look how expensive it is, though.
Yeah, $120. Yeah. I don't have that.
That's ridiculous.
That's disposable income. I definitely don't.
Back in my day, I got my Halloween sweaters from Kmart, and I was happy about it.
You could go to Sears and get yourself a McKids outfit for $20, shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, I could get me a Halloween costume, be a full-fledged Ninja Turtle, and one of those sweaty plastic things, and a mask that's going to break the second I put it on for like $15.
I was telling Matt about that yesterday, Matt Johnson. And he was like, dude, those things are awesome. I was like, yeah. And I told him exactly what I said to you. Like, it felt like 1,000 razor blades on your face. That rubber band was going to break at any moment. And it felt like
either broke or pulled your hair.
Yeah. And you could lose 10 pounds in a night by just wearing that.
Yeah, it's really a great weight loss program.
Yeah.
Brian, we were also talking about on that Halloween episode, on the costume episode, all these characters we wish we could be, but in our present state, we most certainly could not play off.
Johnny wants to play middle-aged Zelda, where Link is middle-aged.
Where Link has let himself go. He just kind of lays around, resting on the laurels of the stuff he's done before.
He goes down to like the tavern and be like, "Oh, it's beginning. How many times now?" All right, we get it, Link. We get it.
He picks up his quiver and it just limps over.
Oh, that feels
Doesn't it
like a
just
personal.
doesn't stand up
That's a
like it
person.
used to.
That's a personal attack, Brian. I don't. I don't care for it.
I wasn't trying to air anything, I swear.
He's airing grievances. I don't care for it.
But I think so. We all come to agreement that this is just a
Cash grab.
cash grab by McDonald's.
But I'm
So-
also torn because what if they start doing really cool toys that I would want?
No, because they're just done after.
That's what I'm saying.
October
If this
30th.
fails, are they going to try this again?
Probably not, because guess what? The regular Happy Meals are this month.
Oh,
They brought back the buckets.
Yeah.
I saw that. I got to get one of those.
Exactly. So, me as an adult, if I'm going to get a nostalgia fix by getting a Happy Meal, I'm going to get the bucket. The bucket is more of a nostalgia fix.
Last year they did a whole nostalgia thing where they had like some of their toys from yesteryears, and I got like one of the Nuggets. Remember the Nugget kids? And
I
they
love
came in
those.
costumes. I got one of those, and I was like, "This is the coolest thing ever." Only thing I needed was that the French fries that transformed. That's the only thing I needed.
Oh yeah, I love those.
Yeah.
I wish they would bring back Mario 3 toys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'd be excited. But for our main topic, we are talking about the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors. Yes. I gotta say, even though my daughter was born in February during like the syndication run of The Simpsons, she was born during an episode of Treehouse of Horror. I don't know which one because I was kind of paying it. She's the first one, so I was actually paying attention to that one. Number 2, I think I fell asleep, and number 3, I wrote up I did my fantasy football research. All right.
Jacoby.
Kobe was fantasy football research. I almost won that year. So I was like, man, if it wasn't so much to cost to have a kid, I should just have a kid every year so I can do fantasy football research.
That's
You gotta
that's
sit in that
expensive
room.
research.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't do it.
Does he know this? Does he know this story?
Oh, he would love it if I told him.
Yeah.
Oh, I
that's
thought
what
you
the-
just tell
Kobe
him all.
would.
I thought anytime he's out of line, you just tell him that every time.
And then I do mention though to my middle child, because I'm a Red Sox fan, and the Red Sox won the year my daughter was born, won the World Series the year my daughter was born, and the year Jacoby was born. So my oldest and my youngest and my middle son, I always go, the Red Sox, nobody won, and none of my sports teams won anything the year you were born.
Well, by your notions, I can't have any kids ever because my teams haven't won anything ever. So,
You are a Tar Heel fan, though, aren't you?
that is true, and we
Yeah.
have won a few there. Yeah,
Recently, you do have a national championship. So.
yeah, that's true. We do have quite a few there, but there, and I think we got one for hockey, the Hurricanes. I think they got one.
Yeah. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that to Buffalo fans.
But didn't we have one though?
You're not lying.
Okay.
You do. Sabres
That
fans.
shows how much it matters to us, Brian. I couldn't even tell you if I was right or not.
You're not the first Hurricane fan to admit that to me.
I won't even say I'm a Hurricane fan. I just pulled for him because it's North Carolina. That's the only reason. I will say, actually going to a hockey game is a lot of fun.
It is.
Well, when you finally come up here, we'll take you to one.
All right. Actually, that really surprised me how much I enjoyed. We have a minor league team here, the Checkers in Charlotte, and I got to go to one of those games. I actually had a great time. I didn't understand half what was happening, but I enjoyed it.
Best part about hockey. It's the only sport where you can still fight in, and they're like, just go sit down for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I still don't know what a hat trick is. Every time I sit in, there's no hats involved at all. I thought
They do throw hats, though.
I want to see them do some tricks with these hats, though. They're doing nothing. They don't even juggle them.
Well,
Do something. Make this hat disappear. I want to see a great hat trick.
when we start our sports history podcast, we're gonna have to do some hockey stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Hockey's gonna be there. But Treehouse of Horror, I think this was a staple, 100% staple growing up. It kind of helped.
I would say it's even an Office Max. I'll show myself out.
Dun, 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 dun.
Where's this ask to mute button?
Never. We can't mute Johnny.
I'm half the show now, Brian.
I know.
I've worked my way into it.
He's like there now, Brian. He is like here.
I'm that rash you can't get rid of.
Oh,
I keep coming back no matter how much Neosporin you put on it.
Oh, you're so lucky that I can't ask for you to be muted. I can only ask for myself to be unmuted.
Is that true? Like you can be like, hey, could you please unmute me?
And
Yeah.
Brian,
Mute
the name
yourself
of the
up.
show, the Nostalgia Funhouse.
Yeah.
Would it not be? I don't think it would be very fun.
It
If
would just be a house.
yeah, be the nostalgia house. That just sounds
Yeah.
like a house where your grandmother has everything like
And also-
covered.
Yeah. And it all smells like mothballs. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not the nostalgia house. We're the nostalgia fun house.
I put the fun in the fun house, Brian.
Yeah,
Johnny's middle name, Secret, finally came out.
That's right.
it's fun.
Johnny Secret Fun Townsend. It's actually Lee, if you're keeping score at home. Named after Lee Majors. That's true. My mom was a big Lee Majors fan, and that's
Oh, you
why I
know
got my
her
middle name Lee.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's right. Yep. He fought Sasquatch.
Marge Simpson is having a mini romantic dream about him one time.
That's right. Yeah.
E majors all.
So this was like I feel a major Halloween staple or Office Max, according to Johnny. Growing up, right up there with like Garfield's Halloween
Yes. Yep. Yes.
and Great. What is it? It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. I'm getting to
Yep.
where I mix
Yep.
things up as we got to Scooby Doo.
It's the great Garfield Charlie Brown. Yeah.
I would like to see that.
But yeah, I miss these though, right? Like when shows would have like Halloween specials and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Bob's Burgers thankfully still does that. So there are shows that still do it. But it seems like it's a long lost thing. I've been going back and rewatching old sitcoms that I was into when I was a kid. And like right now I'm going through watching Home Improvement.
Yes,
And
those
they-
are excellent ones, yes.
Yeah, and they do a lot of really fun Halloween stuff.
Roseanne did some
Roseanne.
awesome.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But Treehouse of Horror, I gotta admit, I probably watched the ones that I could remember. I went through and I went back. They're all on Disney Plus, and I think I stopped after maybe 12 or 13.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, that's kind of the what most people consider after 10 years, it kind of starts going downhill, as a lot of fans think. I still think there's some pretty classic stuff that happens after that. It's some pretty funny stuff. But if I'm being honest, most of the funny gags I remember are from those first 10 seasons easily.
Mm-hmm. We were talking before Brian joined us. I don't think if it was for Treehouse of Horror, I don't think I would really know who Edgar Allan Poe is and the whole thing with the Raven. And I don't think I'd be as invested as Twilight Zone in the Twilight Zone as I am now.
Yeah.
Because of just these doing parodies of them and then me wanting to see the original so I can understand better. It's kind of like the whole reason why I went back and watched the old Dune so I can understand an episode of South Park. But that's where I got a lot out of these, and then the little gags and everything else that goes along with them. And the characters don't change. So it just feels like it's a normal everyday life for them, but all this stuff is happening. And then you get introduced with Krang and Krotos and the aliens and everything else.
Yeah, it's really, the history of it is also very fun because when they came up with the idea, a lot of the writers were actually really stressing out because you're taking this thing that's technically only like 20 something minutes long and you're dividing it up 3 ways. Well, even less than that too, because you got the intro.
Yeah.
And so you got to write these really short form stories, and that's a lot of pressure because they still have to be funny. And they got to be, still feel like the Simpsons and all this stuff. So it wasn't until Matt Groening was like, this doesn't have to be canon. so they really like, you can pretty much do whatever you want, and that's basically what opened the doors for these. And so it's called the Treehouse of Horror, though technically only one of these ever took place in the treehouse. That was the very first one.
Yep.
It was actually called the Simpsons Halloween Special or something like that before then. And then they changed it to that after that. But yeah, Brian, I was watching that first one and I couldn't. I mean, I was flabbergasted by. First of all, it'd been a while since I've seen it, but like most of my memories from Treehouses are from these first two ones. I was kind of joking around with you guys first. One of my favorite gags in all Simpsons is when we first meet the aliens and they're beaming the family up, and they start to beam up Homer, and they can't quite do it, so they got to have that second tractor beam to beam the big boy up, and that gets me every time.
It's one of those things, though, with Treehouse of Horror that I realized, like, I would quote things, and someone would be like, "What are you quoting?" I'm like, "The Simpsons," and they're like, "I don't remember that episode." I'm like, "It's a Treehouse of Horror." So I don't know if everyone remembers, but they always stood out to me. Like some of those lines that, I mean, obviously we're gonna get into it, but I just like they stuck in my brain, and just like upper echelon comedy. Just the way they were able to weave in the jokes while maintaining a good, fun, spooky storyline.
Yeah, there's a lot of really mini jokes that I think you got to go back and watch for a second time because you probably missed them the first time.
Mhm.
I was telling Andrew, like the one that I literally had on while I was going into this Zoom was the I think it's the fifth one. It's either the fourth or the fifth. It's the one where Flanders is the devil. It's that one.
Yes.
And it's just so good. There's so many really quick lines. Like there's one part where he shows up at Homer's work. and they see him there and oh, I'm blanking on the boss's name. What's the old man's name?
Mr. Burns.
Thank you, Mr. Burns. He was goes, who I like to cut that man's jib. And Smithers is like, he's your 11 o'clock, sir. And then there's one really quick line where he shows up, where Flanders the devil shows up at the Simpsons house, and he goes, "Oh, hey, Bart." Like he already knows who Bart is.
Yep. That is that's a great episode. That's one of my favorites, and specifically that part of that episode where there's a trial to save Homer's soul.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they're lining up some of the like quote unquote worst people in history, and so Lizzie Borden's there, which is hilarious. The 1976 Philadelphia Flyers are there.
Of course, they have to be.
And then my favorite, so like you're showing up, they're introducing the jury, and they get to the last one, and it's Blackbeard, and Marge goes, "I'm sorry, Mr. Blackbeard, we ran out of chairs. This is the only one we got." And it's a high chair. He utters, "Yar, this chair be high," says I.
See, I love the Philadelphia Flyers in there.
Well, they would do that gag kind of a couple of times because there's one. It's not a Treehouse of Horror, but there is an episode where it's kind of like his Homer gets a new job.
Yeah,
And that boss is kind of like a James Bond villain, basically. But he gives them football? He gives them a football team.
he gives them the Broncos, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and he wants the Dallas Cowboys.
the Scorpio episode.
Yes. Yep.
Mr. Scorpio, you got any sugar? Sugar? Let's see. And he pulls it out of his pockets.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
man.
I originally brought up possibly hopping on with you guys and talking Simpsons, actually it was back in the original show that I attempted to go watch. And Andrew's like, "Oh yeah, we'll definitely do that."
Yeah,
And then it got to like all of a sudden I realized, I'm like, "Oh crap. Like Halloween's like here. Oh, I know we can spin this." So all these Treehouse of Horrors that we can go through are just like, in my opinion, some of the best Simpsons episodes, period. Like especially the first 12, 13 are just knock out of the park, ridiculously funny.
Because last year I did an episode just based on Halloween specials. We talked about South Park, Garfield, but I think this is the king of all Halloween specials for anybody in our age group. Is the Treehouse of Horror. This is what you looked for. This is what you waited for. And my favorite episode is one that I still talk to my friend about today. Is the Krusty Doll.
Yes.
And just that whole the whole exchange with him and the shopkeeper where he's like but the doll is evil, and Homer's like, "That's bad, but it comes with the free Frogurt. That's good." And then he goes, "Oh, I forgot what something else." And then he's
The
like,
Frogurt is cursed.
yeah. And then he's like, "That's bad, but it comes with the free topping. That's good, but the topping contains 98 benzoate. Can I go now?" Like, it just, that whole exchange is hilarious. And I love how the fix was Marge just calls. And then the guy comes and he's like, "Oh, see, here's the problem. You had to put on evil." And he just flicks a switch like it's any random toy. He's like, all of a sudden, it's good again.
My favorite part of that one though is where he goes quote unquote home, and it's that dollhouse.
Yeah,
He just talks about how he's had such a hard day when just waiting on that Homer. It's so great.
Homer made me wash his back.
But that was great in the Bart Zone. The Bart Zone, the Twilight Zone one, where they're all trying to please Bart. And he's like, "It's been 365 hours of just nonstop action. I'm going to go get some more of those over-the-counter caffeine pills from Sideshow Bob or Sideshow Mel." I think it's Sideshow Mel at that point.
Yeah.
And he's just like completely melting. His face is just done because he knows if he goes off air.
That Krusty the Clown one, they call it that particular part of the episode is called Clown Without Pity, and it's based off of Living Doll and Child's Play. I like it. Wikipedia kind of breaks it down of what they're based off of. My favorite part in that, and it is one of my favorite of all time in Simpsons, Homer's just in the tub. He's "My baloney has a first name, it's Homer. My baloney has a second name, it's Homer." And I actually, back in the day, would go and download wave files of different Simpsons quotes, and I put them on a CD-ROM, and I would listen to it on my ride into school on the bus with my Walkman. I would just be listening to just random Simpsons quotes, and I realized, I'm like, wow, a lot of those are from Treehouse of Horror.
I love the shitting, and I like the shitting because they just came out right at it, and they're like, "Don't you mean The Shining?" He's like, "Whoa, we're not trying to get into trouble here. It's the shitting." And you go over to the typewriter and you're ready to see the classic, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. And then all of a sudden it's like just written all over the place. And it's like Mark says something about go crazy, and he's like, "Don't mind if I do."
That's the one I quote all the time.
Yeah.
Is that one when someone's like, "You're acting crazy. Don't mind if I do."
Or when they're in the elevator and then they're like, "Oh, normally the blood gets off on a different floor."
No beer and no TV make Homer something.
Or the nostalgia of going back and watching it is the race between Bob Dole and Bill Clinton.
Yes.
Okay, I completely forgot about Bob Dole, other than Norm Macdonald doing the Bob Dole character on SNL.
Yeah.
Bob Dole.
Bob Dole. Yeah, that's the one where Homer gets the awesome line at the end. "Don't blame me. I voted for Kang."
Yeah, and I love it when they're standing there and they're like, "Well, you have to vote for one of us." They're like, "No, we don't. It's a 2-party race. I'll vote for a third party." And they're like, "No, I don't think I am." And you see Ross Perot punch through his hat. He's so mad nobody's gonna vote for him once again. Those were like the little ones that I just really, really enjoyed out of like going back and watching them. And the Bad Dream House is great too, with the whole Amityville Horror and the very first one that you see.
Yeah.
Because it just makes fun of everything, where the house would rather implode on itself. And the ancient Indian burial ground gets me because I never, as a kid, I mean, I think this came out at 89, 88?
Somewhere around there,
yeah. And then I never noticed that in the ancient Indian burial ground underneath there, you see a tombstone of Mahatma Gandhi. And you can't argue with that one.
Yeah.
There's so many fantastic tombstone gags throughout the Treehouse of Horror. Like that's what got me really loving those type of gags. Like one of them, like "I told you I was sick," stuff like that just makes me laugh. It's because of Treehouse of Horror, and those ones they always have. They're always great.
The intros, they like to be able to. They're constantly trying to one up themselves, like with the intros, because they were always so crazy over the top. I mean, they did it on the regular episodes, but the Treehouse ones were always just so. I mean, to use a modern word, so extra. There was just so much more going on. And then even going into the credits, like they're always messing around with the names in the credits. Mel screaming Brooks or something like that.
Yeah.
Back groaning.
Matt, he always has some good ones. My favorite one though is just like Matt merchandising grading. That is one of my favorite ones. The monkey's paw one where they get wishes, and we want us to be famous, and everybody just hates them.
And then Lisa wishes for world peace, and so that everyone's marching off to go get rid of their guns. And I remember the Simpsons are all lining up with their guns, and Marge tosses in a shotgun, and then Lisa tosses in something, and Bart tosses in like a whole bunch of different things, and then Maggie pulls something out too, like a handgun, and tosses it.
That was cool with the zombie one where Homer's just shooting everybody. They're like, "How'd you know he was a zombie?" I did. I think he shot Flanders.
He shot Flanders, yeah.
Oh my God, you shot zombie Flanders. He was a zombie?
Stuff like that. Or the witch one, where Marge is the witch. It's kind of like the older one, but that's still good. Homer has great in that one where they're like, who do we want to say is a witch? He's like, I nominate Goody Flanders, and they're all like, "Oh," because he does it every single time. Anytime you get Homer, just Homer Flanders jokes are the best.
One of my favorite ones, rewatching this is where Homer is King Kong.
Yeah,
and he's climbing the building, and he's running out of steam, right? Because it's just a lot of work, and he's really out of shape. And then when he falls, it's revealed that he barely got off the ground. So funny.
Yeah, that's a great reveal.
Well, this is the first time the Simpsons kind of went 3D as well.
Yeah,
that was an awesome
really
episode.
crazy.
That was like
you remember
mind
that
blowing.
watching that the first time?
Yeah.
Yes, it was mind blowing. It
I
was mind blowing and weird. I remember before the episode even aired, like it was, it had people were talking about it because they were kind of pumping it up, like, hey, we're going to do this on this episode, and it was very early when it comes to computer animation type stuff. So that was really, in a way, for television especially, it was groundbreaking.
I think it was. Is it the Time and Punishment one where he keeps on going back in time with the toaster?
Oh my God!
Yes, yeah.
And he's like, remember what my father told me on the wedding day? If you go back in time, don't kill anything. And then he stepped on something, he killed it, and he goes back, and it's 20 different ones, and then he finds the most peaceful one where his family's all sitting around the table, and he's asking them, and then all of a sudden he ask about donuts, and they're like, "Donuts? What's donuts?" And just because of donuts, he leaves, and then all of a sudden it rains donuts, and Marge is like,
"It's raining again."
Yeah. Then he goes back in the time, and he just starts beating the crap out of everything.
Another great reveal to me too is it's the dreaming one and Bart's nightmare, and and it's the one where we've already kind of alluded to it, where everybody's kind of tiptoeing around him because he's got these powers, but then they're like, oh, I think he just wants his dad's love, so Homer starts hanging out with him even though he's a Jack in the Box now, and they actually start getting along, and Homer goes, "I love you, son," and then that's when Bart wakes up and just screams. Like that was the scariest part for him. Was his dad showing actual affection.
I like the incorporation of Willie, with the shinning, and then even the nightmare on Evergreen Terrace, where he's burning to death, and when Principal Skinner's like, "Wait a minute, Willie, Mr. Van Housen has the floor," and he's talking while this man is dying. He's like, can we make sure we release the lunch menus a week in advance, because I really don't like it if Melhouse has 2 spaghetti dinners on the same day. And I'm like, that was just the funniest thing to me, because he's just sitting there burning, and he's talking about making sure his son doesn't have 2 spaghetti meals in one day.
That's just a good parent, though, really.
Yeah. Okay. I could see it now. Mr. Van Housen.
Yeah, you got to put your kids first.
But and then when they start eating all the kids, And any little thing happens, they're like, go. Go to detention. It's 4 kids in a class.
Oh man. Brian, what are some of your favorite ones that you can remember?
Yeah, we've already kind of hit a lot of the ones that like I have to watch before Halloween. Like I have to cross them off the list. And I'm with you, Johnny, on the fact that anytime the aliens show up is always one of my favorites. Like we already mentioned it, but when they the monkey paw episode after Lisa wishes for world peace, that's the last wish, and the aliens go, the humans got rid of their weapons, now's their chance. And so they zoom down to Earth and they take over the Earth because they can't defend themselves. Homer gets mad. No, it isn't the last wish. Homer has the last wish, and he wishes for like a turkey sandwich or something like that. And it's dry. And everything. Remember the thing with the monkey paw is there's always something bad that happens with your good intention. He wants a turkey sandwich, and it's a little dry, or is missing mayo or something.
And he gets really angry about it.
So he throws it over the fence to Flanders' side because he's bad at it. He throws it over, and then it renews itself, and immediately Flanders is like, "Well, let's get rid of these pesky aliens." And you had just seen it's so stupid, but you had just seen Mo running down the street with an alien chasing him with like a ray gun, and he's like running away in terror. And then Ned makes his wish, and automatically humans realize that they still need weapons. So then you see the alien running away, and Mo's got a board with a single nail on it trying to chase him down. And I don't know why, but that always made me laugh so hard.
There was one I never watched that I got to, and I can't find it, but I thought it was cool because that was in there. I'm pretty sure it was. Marge brought down like the way Disney Plus works, like it just runs into it no matter what. So I watched some regular episodes going, this is a weird Treehouse of Horror. And then it's a stopwatch, but they got it from an old comic book advertisement.
Right.
That I thought was cool just for that, but then also it took them so long to repair the watch after it broke, and they're like super old, and at the end they're like, why is Bart so old? Why is he so old and shaggy? But they ended up getting Martin killed over it.
How about when Homer's inside the Quickie Mart and Snake comes in and he gets shot, and then his hair is used as a transplant for Homer to get new hair, and then he inherently takes on the Snake persona. And at the end, he realizes, like, they're like, tell him, like, Dad, it's the hair. So he grabs the hair and he rips it out, and then it's actually like its own like thing. It's like forms its own hands and legs and stuff like that, and it actually picks up a gun and starts shooting.
I love how they call out Bart in there. They're like, there's all these witnesses, and don't forget Bart Simpson behind the aisle over there.
I mean, there's so many great little jokes. There's that one again where the Simpsons are, they wish to be famous, and the people are talking about how much they hate them. And one of the gags is, and this is in the heyday of Simpsons being everywhere, and one of the gags was $18 for a T-shirt, and it was a Simpsons shirt.
It's a good deal now. Actually,
yeah, now that sounds really good.
Good. I remember when you could get the knockoff ones.
Oh yeah, man. Bart peed on a lot of stuff on a lot of back windows I've seen. So it's either Bart or Calvin. One of those two were always peeing on something.
Yeah.
A lot of Fords and Chevrolets got peed on. But
what's the episode? I don't remember the episode name of. I mean, they're always numbered, but like when they break them down, when all the advertisements come to life.
Oh, that was great.
Yes.
Yeah. The big boy. Coming to life.
See, that's like the hidden message in this, where they're like, we want these advertisements to go away, and Lisa goes to the advertising person. He's like, we'll just stop paying attention to them.
Yeah.
And it's like that little hidden subliminal message in there as well. But then all of them start dying off, and we're still staring and going, ooh, it's sprinkles. It's like, Dad, quit looking at them.
I also kind of wish that Rob Zombie's Monsters movie had looked at the Treehouse of Horror episode where they take Homer's brain and put it in the robot. Because that's how you do it. Because that was funny.
Yeah. So monsters.
I will say that the best episode is Homer and the Devil.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
It is. I've watched the other ones. I've tried some new ones along the way, but I keep going back to that one as just like an epitome of like, you guys crushed this. So like each part is so good, especially the Devil part. And it has the best ending of any Simpsons story, which is Homer wanted donuts, right? That's what started this whole thing, with selling his soul for a donut. You find out that Marge actually owns his soul. Homer sold his soul to Marge a long time ago. She owns it. So the Devil, pissed off, goes, well, then I'll be hexed upon your head. You'll have a donut for the rest of your life. And his head turns into a donut. They go to like the next morning, and Homer's picking at his own head and eating it. Homer, stop picking your head. Oh, but I'm so tasty.
In his defense, I think I'd do that too.
You look outside, and all the cops are out there with cups of coffee. He's got to come out sometime, boys.
That episode also has the part where like he's in hell and they're trying to like, you like donuts, huh? So they keep getting him donuts.
The machine's just like glurk, glurk, glurk. The guy's getting mad.
And the guys get mad because it's not real torture to Homer. He's enjoying every moment of it.
What's the one where Bart has the brother?
Oh,
and then Professor Hibbert realizes
that's an early one.
Yeah,
he realizes that it's the wrong.
Like, you think that brother is the evil one, but the ending is no, it's the one we all know. It's the evil one. Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "Can I have some?" And it's like, "No, finish your fish heads." I love that one, and The Fly. And Homer bought the transporter for 30 cents. I think the best part of that one is where he tries to line it up so he could go pee in the living room into the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
And he's talking to Marge about something, and he puts his hand right there. And Lisa's like, "Ow, somebody just punched me." You're like,
there's just so many great little jokes in these. I mean, even back, when he buys the monkey paw, and he takes it back to the family, and Marge is like, "Where'd you get that?" And he goes, "I got it from," it disappeared, because you see the swirly thing, like it's not there. And then the camera just pans over, goes, "No," and the guy goes, "No, I'm over here." So he just looked in the wrong place.
But that's the stuff you got to do. Oh, it's the Thing and I is the one where Bart and the clone.
Yeah.
Bart and his
twin brother
Hugo. There's just so many good ones. I like it when they do Stay Tuned. You've seen the movie Stay Tuned?
Yeah.
And they do going through each episode of things. The Bart Zone one is good too, when he's watching football. And he's like, "If they make the field goal, I win." And all of a sudden you hear the little like shake. And then they're like, oh my goodness. And the ball's turning into an overweight middle-aged fat man.
And he goes, and he hits the poles. It doesn't make him. It's no good. Oh man, it's so great. Yeah. Also, a nice little side bit of trivia: in the very first Treehouse of Horror, this man has been kind of going through all my podcasts. We've been talking about him here lately. One of the guest voices was James Earl Jones, the
man himself.
He played one of the aliens. Yeah,
because he also did the Raven story too.
Yeah.
I think that's what drew me to it. Maybe if it was anybody else, I would have been like, well, this is stupid, this whole Raven thing. But
yeah,
hearing Mufasa and Darth
Vader
reading it off. That Darth Vader costume was great that I showed you yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's
Vader. But this is definitely a classic part of just growing up, childhood, no matter which one it is. Like I said, even though I know I stopped watching them and I don't look forward to them as much as I used to, but I kind of do want to keep on watching them, even though I feel like they fell off. Like you said, after 10 years of something's got to give at some point, but some of them were still pretty good. Like, I'd like to see this E.T. Go Home one.
I think you'll still find some really good gags in them.
Yeah.
There's always going to be something in even episodes today that'll kind of make you chuckle, at least. which is more than you can say for some shows, especially for shows been around for 30 plus years. So
Right. My favorite tidbit to always tell people about Simpsons is that the first 4 seasons, maybe 5 seasons, Conan O'Brien was one of the lead writers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, you got that mastermind. You know, I think he graduated. Did he graduate from Harvard?
he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Like ridiculous smart and just, he was also on he wrote for SNL and yeah. So if you got that guy in the writer's room, I'm sure once he left, there's plenty of other guys that just hopped on his coattails and it's like, just do what Conan did, man. Just think of something that's super stupid in your head and then say it out loud.
Yeah.
Is it Conan or Conan?
It's Conan.
Conan.
Yeah.
Conan.
We had
Conan is a barbarian.
He is very tall.
So-
Like 6'6" or something.
Yeah, Conan's really tall. Yeah.
movieweb.com did the top 7.
Oh, episodes of Treehouse.
Yeah, they did whole episodes. So number 7 is season 10, which would have been Treehouse of Horror 9. This is the Hell to Pay that we talked about.
Yeah.
Terror of Tiny Toon, the Stay Tuned, and I can't remember what Starship Poopers were.
That's when Maggie was actually Marge was impregnated by the alien.
Yes, that's great too. When he's giving her the choices and he's like behind a porno theater, and he starts trying to like put moves on her.
Yeah, I love like she sprouts a tooth and then all of a sudden she talks like this.
Hello. This one I didn't see. Number 6 was Treehouse of Horror 19, season 20, and this one has How to Get Ahead in Advertising. It's a great. Oh, see, I would love to see this one. It's a Grand Pumpkin Millhouse, as well as the Untitled Robot parody, which I guess is something about Transformers. Number 5 is Treehouse of Horror 7, season 8, The Thing and I, The Genius Tub, which is absolutely great. The parody of a Twilight Zone episode where Lisa's tooth grows a society.
Yeah.
And every time they show on Screen Crush the Quantum Realm city that they're like, this could be Kang's, I think of this episode of The Simpsons because it's just a tiny city. And The Little People and Citizen Kang, which we talked about. Number 4 is Treehouse of Horror 5, The Shining, Time and Punishment, and Nightmare Cafeteria.
What's Nightmare Cafeteria? I don't.
That's the one where they're eating the kids. Is they have the grade F meat.
Oh yeah.
And so they start killing the kids. Like they killed Ooter and made them into like bratwurst and stuff.
That's good stuff. Anytime I think of the cafeteria and Simpsons, I instantly think of Homer's. Why are my bones so? Or Bart says, why are my bones so brittle? I always drink plenty of milk. Rat milk.
Every time I eat like a fish fry, I always, when I go to tartar sauce, all I can ever think about is Mr. Burns going, let them have their tartar sauce.
Yes.
Ketchup. Ketchup.
Yeah.
Ketchup.
And I used to do that all the time. Treehouse of Horror 28, The Sweets Hereafter. Now I gotta actually watch these. Exorcist.
I looked at that list too, and I was like, "Oh, this has got a bunch of ones I have not watched."
And then number 2 is Treehouse of Horror number 1. That's Bad Dream House, Hungry Are the Damned, and The Raven. And then number 1 is Treehouse of Horror 4, season 5. Thank God I'm like into sports so I can read Roman numerals. And that where they didn't really show that one.
But that's the one with
That's-
the devil Flanders, right?
No, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 3. I think that one is
Yes, or 5.
5. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Devil-
Remember the first season didn't have one.
That's
Yep.
right.
This throws it off. Yeah.
Yeah, season 5 for Devil and Homer Simpson, Terror at 5.5 feet, which is great because parody. Bart Simpson's Dracula and a Warp Arounds, which I think that's the one with the 3D, isn't it? It's got to.
I thought that was whatever one that where Homer turns 3D. That's the last segment in that episode. That version of Treehouse.
It must be. It must be because this is the only one that has 4 segments in it that I can see.
One I want to make sure we mention says here season 12 Treehouse of Horror 11. You got Ghost Dad, Scary Tales Can Come True, and then my favorite, which I completely forgot about to look at the list, Night of the Dolphin, where this dolphin communicates with Lisa and convinces her to let him free from like an aquarium or whatever. And then he goes and he brings this like dolphin army to go take over the world.
They all end up back. They all end up in the water.
Way to go, Lisa. Or
Yeah.
I remember Homer saying something like that, like, way to go,
Go,
Lisa.
Lisa.
Simpsons really did do everything.
Yeah, they did.
Simpsons did it. Simpsons did it.
Because that part even had that where a whale told Kyle, "Save me," and they sent the whale to the moon.
I love that.
So you'll fly to the moon. See, moon.
Oh man.
I love South Park. That should be another episode in itself, right there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But thank you, Brian, for coming on. And
Oh, thanks for
Bring it
having
on.
me. This was
Yeah.
good laughs. Good time.
is there anything you wanna plug right now, or?
You know what? I can. Because of the glorious fourth wall. Go back and check out our old stuff from Crafting and Drafting and enjoy season 3. We are underway. Crafting and Drafting is back, doing airing of Grievances once a month with Johnny over there and our good friend Matt Johnson. Just once a month, nice and easy. We don't, we know Star Wars fandom has got its own stuff already, so we're just kind of riding the coattails there. Kind of okay with no one paying attention to us, and we just do it for ourselves. But if you feel like tuning in, we should. I feel like we do a pretty good job, Johnny. Right?
I think so. I like to point out a lot of stuff in these Star Wars films. I mean, I waxed poetic about Porkins for a long time. So
Yeah.
if you enjoy that kind of nerddom, please join us.
And then the once a month music podcast I do with some of my really good friends. All brand new podcasts are that, which is my favorite thing about it, is that none of them had ever done their own shows before, and now they do a once a month with me where we just talk music. We pick an album to review. We kick out some undeserving artists from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's my favorite part. We have voted out U2, Green Day, some other ones that I'm sure are pissing people off. But check.
Oddly enough, out of those two, I'd keep Green Day.
Yeah.
Personally.
You know, it was real
Bad
bad.
pig.
Before we were recording, I was playing Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, and they play all of his songs in 16-bit, and they were playing Beat It, but I wasn't singing Beat It in my head. I was singing
Eat It.
So I was like going through the whole Captain Crunch Raisin Bran. You want no Captain Crunch, no Raisin Bran, and I'm like, no, that's not the song I'm listening to.
Yeah, I'm also like, I love Weird Al so much that the main songs I usually sing as his songs instead. Like American Pie is never American Pie to me. It's hey, this your Anakin guy. It's that for me all the time.
That's the best. That's a good one. That's an underrated one.
Oh yeah.
Running with Scissors is an underrated album.
And maybe
Brian.
Vader someday later.
Yeah.
But for now,
have you done Weird Al yet?
Have we done? No, we actually were gonna try and tier some of his songs.
Yeah. Brian, does that sound fun to you?
Yeah.
It does sound fun to me. My favorite original one that he ever did was The Night the Reindeer Died.
Oh, the night the Santa went crazy. Yeah.
Yes, that's a
Yeah.
great one.
Oh, I'm
That
sorry.
one's
Did I just name drop the movie from Scrooge? I think I did.
Yeah, I think so.
That's what the name of the one Christmas movie. The Night the Reindeer Died.
Well, to be fair, that does happen in that song.
I would go see that. A lot of stuff we've
Yeah.
done on the show
that's-
that
Wait, is that Lee Majors? Full circle. I just brought us back to Lee Majors. Lee Majors is the star in that made up movie.
Did we time travel?
Lee Majors was also a majority owner of the Los Angeles Express,
Oh,
the original USFL.
He lost a lot of money.
Yeah. And the only reason why I know that is because in the 30 for 30 Elway to Marino, Dan Marino mentions that's only one of the reasons why he went out to Los Angeles
Oh,
to
man.
meet with the Express, because he was like, I got to meet Lee Majors. That was fun.
yeah. That's a lot of we're having a lot of good hockey talk on this channel on this show.
Whose balls the devil?
But Thank you once again, Brian, for coming on. And remember to check out the Nostalgia Funhouse Patreon. That is up and going. Johnny and I are working on some stuff for that as well. Go check.
Yeah, as soon as we get some Patreons on there, we're going to have some exclusive audio for you for only $1 a month, and you get all that free fun stuff. We got some really great ideas coming your way.
Maybe we'll give you a little bit of a spin-offs or stuff that you would probably might want to watch, like Michael Scott giving General Hux therapy.
Yeah. Who knows?
I think it's worth $1.
Thank you, Brad.
That's what. Oh, we should do that before every single one. Is do the classic RoboCop. I buy that for $1. But go check out the Patreon. Like Johnny said, $1 a month. We're gonna put up some content in there. Go check out the YouTube channel, Facebook page, and remember every Sunday, BICBP Radio Network, Apple Podcast, Spotify. Even though Apple Podcast, I don't know if at the time of this recording has not changed our logo over. Spotify has. Apple Podcast. What's going on? But other than that, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Don't mind if I do.